First of all, I want to take a minute to thank the fans that came out and supported us. This was a tough year weather-wise for us. I think record amount of precipitation, and there's a lot of issues with that, with parking and everything else. So the fans that came out and supported us, thank you. The fans that came out and supported us in some tough weather conditions, especially tonight, can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Our attendance was unbelievable, all things considered. And a huge home field advantage. So I want to take a minute to thank the support that we were able to get. I think the thing that really kind of stands out to me is we were able to play well up front on both offensive line and defensive line. I thought our defense played fantastic. That team had been running the ball on everybody. And you think of the tackles for loss that we were able to get, the sacks, the pressure. Played really well. Offensively, we were able to run the ball consistently. So just overall, some pretty positive things. We were able to win the penalty battle. Played very disciplined. We won the explosive play battle on both sides, which was huge. We did lose the turnover battle. We did have the one turnover there late on a great drive. And then obviously being able to send the seniors out the right way, which was special. Thought it was also great that we played a complete football game, that we were able to get a lot of those 4th and 5th year seniors that have been on a scout team for 4 and 5 years and haven't been able to get in the game. So the fact that those guys have been able to get in and play tonight was special as well. So it ended the way it should have ended. Obviously Trace McSorley continues to do Trace McSorley type things. Etor, I think he had 20 tackles for loss this season, which is really special. We had 40 sacks, 4 straight season to do that, first time in program history. Some really special things. Tonight we had 15 tackles for loss, 4th double-digit tackle for loss game of the year. So just a lot of really good things that I couldn't be more proud of. The staff, the players, the coaches, everybody. We'll go in, we'll take a little bit of time off right now. Got a bunch of meetings tomorrow. Excuse me. Then the coaches will get on the road recruiting, and then we'll get into bowl week. Whatever they tell us we're going, I'm not sure when that's going to be, whether it's in the next week or so, we'll figure it out after the championship games. But wherever they tell us that we're going, we'll be very appreciative of the opportunity. We'll go enjoy ourselves and try to be 1-0. You think about this 3-year run. I know this season there's been some ups and downs and some challenges and some adversity, but one of the best 3-year stretches in program history when you talk about the Big Ten era. So we got a chance to do some really special things by winning the bowl game, and I couldn't be more proud of our guys. So open up the questions.
Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
James, is this the best that Trace has been able to have a burst of speed and burst of explosion since the Iowa game? Secondly, and what will you miss about him?
Yeah, I think, this is probably the best he's felt, in a while. I think it also has helped that the last couple games we've been able to protect him. I think we gave up 1 sack tonight. That's 1 sack in the last couple of weeks, so I think that's been helpful as well. And I think obviously this night, there was probably a lot of motivation, and that probably helped as well. The type of game it was going to be, and the emotion behind it as well. I think with Trace, it's probably not going to be the sexy quote that you guys are looking for, but it's consistency. Trace McSorley is you love Trace, and it is what you want in all your players, because he's the same guy every day. The guy hasn't had a bad day in 5 years. He hasn't had a day where he's had an issue academically, or an issue with a girlfriend, or an issue with family, and he's brought it into the Lash building. He's the same guy from the day he stepped on campus, then the recruiting process to now. You know what you're getting with him. He's going to be a great teammate. He's going to be always a class act. He's going to be unbelievable downtown in the community. He's going to compete like hell on Saturdays, and he's going to prepare like nobody else. And I think he's a great model for all of our young players, and I think he's a great model for college football in general, just about how you go about your business. You know, he did it in high school, he's done it in college, he's going to do it at the next level. There's no doubt in my mind. So I love his mom, I love his dad. I came walking to the stadium tonight and Mom was crying. And you know me, I'm a big crybaby, so I'm kind of trying not to cry with her. And then I look and Dad was crying. So that kind of threw me over. And then I come around the corner and Mrs. Bates is crying. You know, so we've been through a lot with these kids. We've been through a lot with these families, and you know, for us, it's so much more than football. It's so much more than football. It's the academics, it's the community service, it's watching these guys, the 17 and 18-year-old young men, to develop into guys that are going to go out and be great fathers and CEOs and NFL players. It's a lot more than that to us. It really is. So. I wish I could get another 4 years out of him. I don't know if it's possible.
James, following up on that, getting Trace a curtain call, what was going through your mind? What were you thinking about doing that?
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, you'd love to be in a situation like that where you can send Trace on the field and then bring him off. You know, he's earned that. You know, he has earned that. You know, obviously, you never know how games are going to play out and if you're going to be able to do it. But like I said, I mean, I don't know if you could have written a better script for how this last game would have went for this senior class. Not only with Trace being able to get the curtain call, but Jonathan Thomas getting in there, running the ball, Arcangelo catching a pass, Welby getting in there. You know, it just was fantastic to see all those guys get on the field and have a chance to play. Tyler Shoup getting on the field and playing. You know, it's just, yeah, I don't know if you could have written a better script for the way this regular season ended.
James, no Michael Mena today there. What kind of luxury is it to have a guy like McGovern who's played so much at center to slide back in there for you and help him?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And then also a guy like Miranda who's been training. I think you guys know we almost played him as a true freshman, and he's just been kind of working. Michael was great all week long and being able to kind of, late in the week in terms of being able to coach those guys up and support them. You know, Matt's done a great job with him as well. And, you know, obviously we were able to rush for a bunch of yards and able to protect with not having our normal 5 in there. So, yeah, what we try to do is try to create flexibility inside with our offensive linemen that our guards can play center and our centers can play guards. And then the tackles have some swing ability there as well. So, you know, great that Connor was able to slide into center and did that, you know, obviously earlier in his career, and then obviously, getting Miranda in there and played at a pretty high level from what I saw.
James, you've been around Brent Pry for quite some time now, and I'm just curious how you would evaluate him this season based on the fact you guys came in with a lot of question marks, as you said back in August. And this group has really progressed, it seems, each week and maybe playing as well as anybody since the start of November.
Yeah, I agree. You know, Brent's been phenomenal. As you guys know, I go way back with Brent. His dad's in town this weekend, was out of practice this week. You know, his dad was my college coach. Me and Brent were just two young guys running around trying to figure it all out. And, you know, he's been fiercely loyal. I'm fiercely loyal to him. And I think our defense, probably as much as any unit, just kept getting better. You know, we came into the season with a lot of question marks on that side of the ball at linebacker and a defensive tackle. We just kind of kept getting better. You know, and I think tonight was a really good example of that. You know, I think we gave up, you know, one explosive pass early on, but besides that, you know, that McSorley kid had been rushing for 200 and something yards against everybody. So he's done a phenomenal job. And, you know, and Sean Spencer's been a big part of that. Obviously, he's been with us since day one as well. And Tim Banks is an extension of the family. You know, we go way back since me and Tim were on the staff at Maryland. Phil Galliano's done a great job, and obviously Terry Smith has been invaluable. So that whole defensive staff, led by Brent Pry, has been fantastic. So, you know, these guys mean a lot to me, more than just as coaches. You know, part of my family. So, you know, special.
James, you mentioned you know, finishing strong and where the program is right now. How much does a good performance in your senior day, from your experience, carry into the bowl practice and through the next month?
Yeah, I think obviously winning always helps, and winning in a convincing manner helps. You know, we're going to go into the bowl prep with good mojo. We have Victory Monday dinners at the CAF. You guys should come at Pollock. It's phenomenal. They get extra helpings of food and steak and lobster and all kinds of good stuff, so they'll enjoy that. There's just good stuff, whenever you win. The energy is much better with the coaching staff and the players. So obviously, it's great going into the bowl on a high note. There's no doubt about it. But then, it's going to be work. It's going to be work. There's no doubt about it. We're going to play a really good opponent, and we're going to have to find a way to get another W. But I don't think there's any doubt going into the bowl game with a win, and a convincing win is helpful.
James, what were you thinking about as you watched the seniors take their victory lap after the game?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal in a lot of ways, to be honest with you. It literally feels like just the other day that Trace, was in my office saying, yeah, I'm coming to Penn State with his mom and his dad. It seemed just like the other day, that I met Jonathan Thomas, and Nick Scott, that were committed already, Mark Allen. I could go on and on about all those guys. It just seems like the other day where they were stepping on campus. So they've been tremendous leaders. They're going to leave a legacy here. It's going to go on for a very long time. And it just was kind of surreal. Last game at Beaver Stadium. One of the more special venues in college football and all of sports. I know I'm going to enjoy these last couple of weeks that I got with them. We talked about that all week long. We only got so few days left with this family, this football family, and then it's going to be different next year. We're going to have to start all over. So I hope everybody enjoys the time that we have together in the locker room, and it's going to be in the hotel and practices and meetings, because the clock's ticking, and we only got so much time left together.
Time for 2 more.
James, Maryland had more than 300 yards rushing each of the last 2 weeks. Today, only 74. What were the 1 or 2 keys for your defense that enabled you guys to be able to stop them like you did?
We made some subtle adjustments with our front, with our defensive ends specifically. And then the other thing is, obviously you guys know this offensive coordinator was at Penn a few years ago. We struggled, with the fly sweeps and things like that. So we kind of had a plan of compartmentalizing, their offense, so that our front was going to deal with, the inside zone and the running game, and the perimeter guys was going to deal with the fly sweeps and things like that. And I think that's what you've seen them do against a number of opponents, where linebackers are starting to worry about the perimeter fly sweep and the misdirection action that they got. And now they're out of their gap and they're getting creased for a big run. So I think, we just made some subtle adjustments to our fronts and our defensive ends. And we kind of compartmentalized. You guys are going to handle the fly sweep. You guys in the core of the defense are going to handle in the box, the running game. And it worked out really well for us. I think there was a couple times where Micah kind of got out of his gap and got affected by it. But overall, I thought we played really well. And our defensive line is just playing at a really high level right now. And I know we played great D-line here for a long time. But I'm really proud of the steps that we've taken. I think you look at teams that we've been able to consistently play well with up front on the O-line and D-line, we played well. That's the next step for us, is to play well up front with the O-line and D-line against whoever we play. And that's kind of, I think, what stands out. There's games like today where we play really well up front. We got to be able to do that week in and week out against whoever the opponent is.
One more on that. You mentioned Yetur earlier, really special. That's 20 tackles for loss. What have you seen in his development, especially the second half of this year?
Yeah, he's a guy that we've always had a lot of faith in and belief in. He's got all the things you're looking for. He's long, he's strong, he's athletic, he's quick, he's explosive. And he's also one of those guys, he does whatever you ask him to do. He practices his tail off. He competes like crazy in morning workouts in the off-season and in the weight room. And he just continues to get better. He gets better because of his off-season work. He gets better because of how he practices every single day. He's just one of those guys. We got a great relationship with his mom and dad and brother and sister. We're all on the same page, kind of working together for Penn State's success, but also for Yetur's success. And he's one of those guys. Saquon was like that. Trace has been like that. Where Yetur never questions anything. Whatever we ask him to do, There's no pushback. There's no question. He just does it, and does it to the best of his ability. And Saquon was like that. Trace has been like that. Those guys just get better. They don't waste 6 months. They don't waste a year questioning things. He just goes to work. Obviously, he's got a lot of ability. I think he's got a really bright future. So we're excited about him, excited about his future, excited about this opportunity we got in the bowl game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.